Okay, so two parallelograms below are similar. So what is the length in inches of PQ? So basically, we're looking at this line here. So what we're going to do, we're going to find the corresponding side for that line. And on the smaller one, the corresponding side would be which one?
16.
16. Okay, now we need to look for another two pairs of corresponding sides because that's going to help us solve for that missing side. So 12 corresponds to 30. So now all we have to do is set it up as a proportion. So we're looking at the small figure and then the large figure. Now the small figure, we have 12, and the corresponding side on the large figure would be 30. On the small figure, you have 16, and the corresponding side in the large one would be P and Q, which I'm going to just write as X. So now all I have to do is cross products. So 30 times 16 so you bring the 0 down. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 plus 1 is 4. So it's 480. Is that my answer?
No.
No, we still need to divide by 12. So 480, I'm going to do it up here, divided by 12, and that's going to be what? 12 into 48 goes 4 times, which is 48. 0, but remember, we still have that 0. So then we're just bringing it straight up. So then my answer is going to be F. So basically, we know that the length of PQ is 40 inches. The data unit is when we're going to be finding median, mode, range, all that good stuff you guys like to do, don't you? Yeah, and basically, we're going to go ahead and get that information from different graphs. So today we're starting the dot plots, then we're going to go into bar graphs, then we're going to go into a box plot, and then we're going to do circle graphs. So all of that we're working on for the next 2 weeks. Now guys, remember this is the last unit we're covering, except we're doing 2 days of financial literacy, which will help you when you start to STAR test. Now guys, on Wednesday next week, you are doing a practice STAR, so I'm hoping that all of you take it seriously. Some of this information we have not seen, but most of it you have. So you should at least get a 60% or higher, and if you do, that means you will pass the STAR test when it's the real thing. Okay, so make sure you're doing your best on that. Okay, so make sure you put this this title on the outside, and you are gluing this in your composition when we're done writing out the notes. So open up your paper, and I have it a little bit different than from you because I try to fit it as much in. So I'm going to be enlarging that and making it small in order to fit everything in. So here we're going to go ahead and fill in the definitions. Okay, so mean is the average, oops, I don't like that, is the average of a set of data. To calculate, you would add all the data, then divide by how many numbers are in the set of data. So basically, the mean is an average. And where do you usually see averages?
In grades.
Yeah, when you actually tell me what's my grade, you're basically asking me what's your average of all your assignments, all your tests. So average is what you do. And if you notice, it's adding everything up and then dividing it by how many you added. Okay, so that's going to be the mean. The median. Well, the median, if you think about it, when you're on the road with your parents, the median is the middle part of the road, and you'll see sometimes that there's cement parts or there's trees or flowers. That's the median. So it's the same thing with data. What you're looking for is the number in the middle. And after the data is placed in numerical order. Numerical order means what? What does numerical order mean?
Least to great or greatest.
Yeah, least to greatest. So basically, when we're looking for the median, we're writing our data from least to greatest. Now, the only thing with this part is that sometimes you're going to have two medians. So if I spell median, if you actually find the middle is between two numbers. You have D and I. Well, when you do that, you're actually going to add it and then divide by 2. So when you have two numbers in the middle, you basically find the mean or the average of those two numbers. And usually when you do have that, it might be 0.5 or it might be a whole number. It depends how far the two numbers are. Okay, the mode is the number which appears the most. Okay? Now, in the mode, you could have more than one mode. Now, also, when you don't have a mode, say for instance, they all show up the same amount, then you don't write 0, you write no mode. Okay, remember that, because a lot of students make that mistake that they write 0 for mode, and it should be no mode. And then the last part is range. Range is the difference between the least and greatest number. Now, range can also be called spread. So when they're asking you for the range or the spread, you're solving it the same way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to solve each of those mean, median, mode, and range for the dot plot. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the mean. Now I'm going to do all of Andrew's data and then all of Marco's data. And in this case, we're going to solve for the mean. So remember, what do we do when we're solving for mean?
You the average of this average that a data to calculate and add all
So we have to add all the data. Now, what I do, when you're looking at a dot plot, every dot represents that number. So in this case, 4 is representing it twice, right?
So it's 8.
So this would be 8. And that's what I do. I basically just go ahead and write in what the amount is. And then 5 has 4 of them, so 5 times 4 is 20. Then 6 has 3 of them, so 6 times 3 is 18. 7 has 4 of them, and 7 times 4 is 28. And 8 has 2 of them, so 8 times 2 is 16. Now we could go ahead and add it. So I'm going to add 8 plus 20 is 28. 18 plus 28 is 46, and then 16. And then keep adding them. So 28 plus 46 is 74. Plus 16, that's going to be 90. Okay, now that we have the total, what do I do next?
You divide by how many numbers?
So I'm dividing 90 by how many?
5?
So it's 5 of them? So we have 5 dots.
No.
No, that means we need to count the dots. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that means we have 15 numbers that we added. And now all I have to do is divide. So 90 divided by 15 is going to give us what? 90 divided by 15, sorry.
not shake.
4, 3.
Yes, it is 6. Okay, so the median, what did I say? How do we find the median?
The number in the middle.
Yeah, so that means I need to write the numbers in order, right? So then I'm going to go ahead and write them in order. So they're already in order, but I need to write them out in order to find the median, the middle number. So we're going to go ahead and we have 2 4s. We have 4 5s. We have 3 6. We have 4 7s. And 2 8s. Okay, now that we have them all listed, then what do we do in order to find the middle number? You could count them, or you could just cross them out. Ooh, excuse me. Thank you. So what we do is we could go ahead and cross 1 from each side.
One time.
So then that means that the middle number is 6. So my median for this data is 6. It's okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and add again. So we're going to add, so 2 plus 3 plus 4 will give us what?
3.
2 plus 3 plus 4? 9. Then we have 5 and 5, that's 10. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21, and 8 times 5 is 40. Now we're adding those two, everything again. So that's 19, 18 plus 21 is 39 plus 40. 19 plus 39, that's 40, 58 plus 40. That gives us, 98. Okay, now that we have it, what do we do? Yeah, divide 98 divided by, and they are 16 points. You're supposed to count that, 16 points. So how many times does 16 go into 98?
7 times.
A little smaller. Yeah. So 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is 96. So that means we have a remainder, so we have to add a decimal and keep dividing. So 16 into 20, 1 time. So that means my remainder is 4. Add another 0, bring it down. 16 into 40, 2 times, which is 32. Remainder is 8. Add a 0 and bring it down. 16 into 80, 5 times. So that's 80, it's 0. Guys, you do not stop dividing. You don't stop dividing unless they tell you to round to a certain number, or if you see or you notice that it is repeating. So in this case, my mean is 6 and 125 thousandths. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the median. I'm going to erase part of this so I could do this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to list again all the numbers. So I need to see what the numbers are. Or somebody could call them out for me. So we have 2, 3, 4. There's 5, 5. There's 6, 6, and 6. 7, 7, and 7. And then we have 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Okay, so now we're going to cross them out one by one. So cross them out. And the reason I like the crossing out is because some students get confused when it's an even number, and then they say there's no median. It's two of them, right? So what do we do when there's 2 in the middle? You add them and then divide by 2. So 6 plus 7 is 13, and 13 divided by 2 is what? 6.5. Yeah, because 2 goes into 13 6 times. You have a remainder of 1, add a 0, and that's 5 times. Okay, so now let's go ahead and find the mode. So the mode is the one that has the most, and that's going to be which one? 8. And then the range is the difference between the greatest and the least. So the greatest number is 8. The least number is 2. So then you have a difference of 6. So my range is 6. Now, the new thing about this year is that now you would need to compare all the data. So in this case, we have 6 is the mean for Andrew, and 6 and 125 is the mean for Marco. So is Andrew's less than or greater than or equal to Marco's? Less than, greater than, or equal to? Is 6 less than, greater than, or equal to 6 and 125,000?
Greater than.
It's less than. So the data for Andrew, the mean for Andrew is less than Marco's. How about the median? How about the median? Less than. How about the mode? Less than. How about the range? So what does it tell you about Andrew's data?
Andrew has less.
Yeah, and doesn't Andrew have less junk mail than Marco? Yeah, and that's basically what the data is telling you. That Andrew has less data than Marco does. I mean, less junk mail than Marco does. And that's all we do. We're doing the shape. We're getting to that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the shape. Now, there's the definitions here. So when you're looking at shape, you basically are going to draw a bell curve. And bell curve means that you're just drawing a line right over it. Okay? So what do you know when it's symmetrical? That means that it's even. If you draw a line right where the tallest point is, the symmetrical means that the same amount of data is on one side as it is on the other. So we're going to say same on each side. Okay, when it's skewed, again, you are doing a bell curve again. And if you look at your tallest part, okay, the tail is on the left. So tail is on the left. This is your tail. That's what we call it because it does look like a tail. When it's skewed right, again, you're doing a bell curve, and then this part is actually on the left, so the tail is on the right, and that's why we call it skewed right. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and look at the dot plots. Now you have it on the top. I just put this down here so we could see it. So in this case, I'm looking at Andrew's data. And what do you notice about Andrew's data? What is it? Is it symmetrical? Is it left or is it right? It's symmetrical. Let's look at Marco's data. And what do you notice about Marco's data? It is skewed left because if you notice, the tail is on the left. So we're in a right, skewed left. Any questions on this? No? So basically, we've done all this in 6th grade. This is just a refresher. So that's what you're going to be doing today. So I do have an assignment for you. I'll be passing it out. Make sure that you're working on it and you are doing your best on it. Also, if you did not finish yesterday's assignment, you need to finish that too.